Hello and welcome to episode 423. Now, sometimes people hit you up on SMS, WhatsApp, people reach out over the phone just to say hello to you, and also because they're curious about what you're up to, what business ideas you're working on, things of that nature. That's because people probably know that you're the entrepreneurial type. You've been doing some sort of hustle, right from university days up until now. And so your friends, family members, they kind of expect that you'll always be working on something. And so every once in a while, someone hits you up, sends you a message, hey, what's up? How you doing? Hello, what you working on? Blah, blah, blah. Now, what's the best way to handle these kinds of conversations, especially since most of us are busy, particularly you, who is the entrepreneurial type. You're busy, you don't have time for idle chit-chat, all these people who just want to reach out because they haven't heard from you in a while, just to say what's up, find out what you're working on. It's not as if they're going to buy anything anyway. So how do you handle all these idle conversations? Now, do you just text back the website link, the Instagram handle of what you have, what you've got going on? Because I think that's how most of us would reply in that situation. Hey, what's up? What are you up to? And then you figure that this person is a time waster. Nothing. The person just wants to do idle chat. And then you just text your website handle back, or you text your wedding planning Instagram page back to them, or whatever. You just text it and then leave it like that. So it's really tempting to do that and to just get on with life because, like I said, you're busy and you know for sure that this friend of yours isn't going to buy anything, so you don't think it's worth the hassle. But I want us to consider one thing though. When you send over that text message with the link, kemiweddingplanning.com or whatever, have you really created awareness about your new product or your new service? And then the second question is, how do you know for sure that your friend isn't going to buy? Because after all, that's just an assumption that each time an old classmate or a friend or somebody from church pings just to say, what's up? It's an assumption that it's just idle chat, and perhaps it might not be idle chat. But even if it starts off as idle chat, how do we know that it's not going to wind up being something else? So if that friend of yours, even if he or she doesn't buy from you, how do you know they can't give you access to the kind of customers that you are looking for? So at the very least, don't just send out the web link or the Instagram handle or the Twitter handle or whatever it is about this new business without no other course of action. Let's try and think up a couple of courses of action that we can do apart from just texting out the link and trying to shoo the person away so that we can get on with our day. So actually, I think it's best to have some kind of elevator pitch. And if this is your first time listening to the podcast, after you're done listening to this episode, you just scroll back a bit. You find the episode on, the episode that had elevator pitches on it, and then you'll be able to get some details about how you can flesh out an elevator pitch. So make sure you have an elevator pitch or some kind of statement which says what the idea you're working on is, who it helps, and the things that you help those people achieve. So instead of just texting back busyparents.ng on Instagram or something like that, or texting the website, why not try texting out something like this? That's in the chat bot. So I've set up Busy Parents NG. It's a daycare center for parents in Lagos and Abuja who need to drop off their kids over the weekend. And this gives them free time to attend to their side hustles or social engagements. They can do so in peace, knowing that their kids are well looked after. Now, I know that this is, I know that this is a little verbose, and it doesn't have to sound this formal, but basically that's the sort of idea. Use your own kind of verbiage, and like I say, it doesn't always have to be in English. If you flow better in Yoruba, assuming you can text in Yoruba or Hausa, then by all means go ahead, but just use your own verbiage. It doesn't have to be this long, it doesn't have to be this formal, but this is the basic structure. This is what I'm doing, it is this, and it helps people who are in this situation achieve this. And before I continue, just to let you guys know, this is not a business idea I'm recommending, although the last time my mom was around, I tried to crack that as a joke, but she thought it was a terrible idea. And other people also say it's a terrible idea because weekends are precisely the time when parents should be hanging out with children, and kids are already gone for a lot of the time, Monday to Friday anyway. So we shouldn't be setting up businesses or social structures that now throw weekends into the mix. So this is just a joke. This is just a hypothetical. But right now, let's assume that there is a market for this kind of idea and that you've gone ahead, you've set up the tech, you've set up the website, you've gotten your handlers, you bought the what else? You've done the lease and you have all the intellectual property that you need to run the business. Like you've done everything. So I'm not saying you should go ahead and do this by all means. This is just a hypothetical. Sorry, excuse me. Sorry, my voice is a little cracked today because I have this really juvenile idea, and it really is juvenile because we had a balloon at home with helium in it, and you know how helium it shrinks your vocal cords and makes you sound real funny, like you're a chipmunk on cocaine or something, or like a chipmunk on speed or alcohol or whatever. But it sounds real nice. It sounds real humorous. So I just ended up sniffing a whole balloon of helium just so I can crack the kids up, making all kinds of voices. And for some reason, my throat is kind of itchy. And yeah, so basically that's the reason why I'm sounding a little off. Sorry, excuse me, a little off kilter today. That's why I sound funny. So for those of you who have kids, you're trying to be a cool dad, don't try sniffing helium. Even if you do, don't sniff the whole balloon of helium because there might be some side effects. And also that this is not going to be long term. Where was I? Okay, yeah. So you deliver the elevator pitch in the text, and then obviously your friend is going to reply something, and you're going to use that as a pretext to slide into the conversation into another gear. So after that will be now something like, hey, would you like to try out this service so that you and Alice can have your weekends stress-free? Assuming that your friend is married to someone called Alice. So, or you could also ask, do you know anyone who could use this service for weekends off? You know, questions like that. But the whole idea basically is that once you've done the elevator pitch, your next set of questions should be to get some feedback on the idea. Also to see if your friend can get you some referrals for the business. Because your friend might never buy, but he or she could know someone who is looking for the exact service or the exact product that you offer. So he and Alice might think it's a terrible idea, but maybe they know someone else, maybe Khadija, who has been ranting that she's looking for this kind of service. And so even though it sounds like a reprehensible business idea, we're not here to judge. If that's what Khadija wants and it's a service that you offer, then in this case, you would have turned idle chit-chat into a viable business opportunity because your friend is going to hook you up to Khadijat, and then you're now going to have someone to another customer for your business. So that's the idea basically. So if your friend comes up, even if your friend comes up blank, they're not able to make any referrals, continue with this process, and then eventually some other friend or associate is going to be able to link you up with someone. Oh, sorry, excuse me, my alarm just went off. This is really unprofessional. Okay, so where was I? Before the alarm went off. Oh yeah, so it's possible that this friend of yours, Alice and her husband, don't know anybody to hook you up with, but eventually you're going to run into someone who has a friend or an associate who might eventually need that product or service that you provide. So don't shun people until you know for sure that chatting with them is an absolute waste of time. You know, don't shun people. So if nothing else, this kind of messaging is good practice to consider because it will help you with sales and business development down the line, because we're practicing how to talk effectively about your business. We're talking about how to ask for orders and referrals, and you should be doing this as often as possible. And if you do this well over time, eventually people in your network are going to know who you are, what you do, and who you're looking to do business with, and they're going to be able to connect you. So the moral of the story is don't ignore your nosy friends every time that they ping you. What you need to do is to have an elevator pitch ready, gauge how interested they are in the service or in the idea, and then if they are not interested, you can ask them if they can point you to someone who might have a need for that product or that service. So that's it. I'll just wrap it up for now, because my attention is needed elsewhere. And if you've not learned nothing else from this episode, remember that you shouldn't go around sniffing helium because you want to be a cool dad. So you guys have fun. I'll catch you at the next recording.